Yet, just what is the longevity of startups here, and what does it take for entrepreneurs to stand out in Singapore?
Now, you might have already used their services. Carousell was started by Kwek Siu Rui, Lucas Ngu, and Marcus Tan. They're the founders, and this trio was determined to use technology to solve meaningful problems for a large number of people. These three troopers rose above the rest and transformed an idea at Startup Weekend Singapore back in 2012. What started out as an idea to help themselves declutter turned into a business opportunity, as Carousell now stands strong as one of Singapore's leading mobile commerce brands. So thanks for joining us today, gents. Loving the matching T-shirts as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Not every day you see, young men wearing the same thing. Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, guys. So, up front, right? I wanted to ask you
How much money you're earning?
Oh, quite a number of millions, actually. But anyway,
Wearing t-shirts.
That's great. How did you come up with the idea of Carousell and its particular function?
We spent 1 year in Silicon Valley, and that 1 year was spent doing a full-time internship on an NUS program called NUS Overseas College. And the whole goal of the program was to just expose you to entrepreneurship and kind of just hopefully get you inspired to do your own startup in future.
Right.
So one of those things that we took away from the Valley was the entrepreneurs there, they use their passion for technology to solve problems and develop apps and solutions that impacted and changed behaviors and help people worldwide. So if you look at Facebook, Instagram, Dropbox, impacting people worldwide. So when we came back from Silicon Valley, we fell in love with technology, wanted to use that same passion to help people and solve problems. So one of those things that we had to do was first find a meaningful problem to solve.
Okay.
And what more meaningful than solving your own problem, right?
So fair enough, but I think problems are all meaningful.
Right,
to
yeah, I guess,
whatever the problem might
and
be.
I guess for us, one of those things we had to do was find something that we were passionate about also. So we
found
used
lots
to be
of problems with.
Yeah. So we used to buy and sell our clutter. So gadgets, camera lenses. So Marcus he loves photography, so he used to use.
Yeah, I used to spend like nearly all my weekends on Club Snap, Carousell, and looking for good deals or looking for the lens that I'm eyeing for.
Yeah.
And I'll just check them out, hoping that someone will let go at a good price. Then I'll just purchase it.
Yeah, but that was desktop era, right? So to create a listing, you have to upload some photos on a separate image host, but you have to first take the photo with a camera, then upload to your computer.
Right.
So that whole process of like taking photo, uploading, and then putting it into a forum post just took tens of minutes. And
Tiresome, right?
Yeah, we just thought with like the smartphone, it would be like snap this out, 30 seconds. So we brought this idea to a hackathon called Startup Weekend.
Yeah.
We built a prototype in 54 hours, pitched it, and we won. But the biggest takeaway was not about winning. It was about people telling us that they had the same problem. They asked whether they could download the app right away.
Oh, wow.
But of course they couldn't because it was just a prototype. So you could take a photo, but it wasn't functional. So that was the whole basis of the idea. Just solving our own problem, selling really, really simple.
That sounds inspiring. We all have problems. I'm going to try and cash in on my own.
Okay, but you still didn't answer the question. How did you come up with the name Carousell?
Oh, you mean the name?
Yeah. Okay, Lucas, you're always the
looking
quiet
all
one.
pensive in the corner. What's happening over there?
I think Marcus can share also the.
So we were inspired by this film called.
That was a quick handover.
this film called Madman. I mean, the backstory before like Silicon Valley, Siri and I were in business school, so we wanted to be like brand managers, advertisers, like a madman in the.
Oh yeah, okay.
So we love the show. John Draper, the protagonist, pitching about great ideas like advertising ideas.
Yeah.
The T-shirts don't fit that image though, lads. I must tell you, if we're talking
warm in Singapore.
John Draper and all.
Specific episode called the Carousel.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was pitching on the Kodak film Carousel. It was like made in 1962, where they used 35mm films and you put them in the fin of the tray.
That's
and
right.
you project images.
Yeah.
And that's how people used to present before. Like there was PowerPoint, there was laptops. They used film to present pictures, to present stories. So one of the episodes was like Don Draper pitching about the whole idea of Carousel, how it's like a merry-go-round, things nostalgic, being shown and represent. And we were watching that while thinking of the idea. We actually brainstormed like the name of Carousel like 2 straight days to keep nerve-wrackingly think about different names. Snap, Flea, Snap, sell. It's kind of funny.
Right.
But there wasn't this emotional
Appeal to it.
There's no nostalgic appeal to it.
Right.
And we watched the show Carousell. Hey, to
The
verbalize
oldie
it.
timey type of camera, not what we're familiar with now. I'm sure everyone's all smartphony and or either that you have this huge paparazzi lens type of camera, but that's
Which
looking
Marcus probably would have.
Yes.
You can see the logo now on the
Embarrassed
lad's
to-
t-shirt.
Yeah.
Carousel.
Yeah, so if you look at
Yeah.
the logo, if you look from the top, it's actually the Carousell slide project.
It is.
Right.
Yeah.
Fantastic, but might it be unfamiliar to non-Madman fans, so to speak, or you're pretty sure, or you're just appealing to the photography aficionados who will know what you're talking about?
Yeah, so I mean, if you look at it, Carousell is also a merry-go-round. You rightly pointed on.
Yeah.
So things on Carousell go round and round from one person to another. And we had it on the cell, and there was like icons, there's photos. We just thought it was perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's the proverbial light bulb going off.
Okay, so now, I want to get the engineer talking.
He's trying to make himself disappear.
Asking some
Absolutely.
coding question.
So, Lucas, okay, so how do you put, these two?
Desirable. So we want to make sure that people who use the app, they want to tell their friends that, hey, this is a very cool app. Do you want to try the app? And yet, firstly, these three things that are things that we think about on a day-to-day basis when we focus on solving a particular problem.
Wow.
So it's all sounding hunky-dory to us as you tell us your story, but I'm sure there were some heartaches in the middle. We're going to find out from the lads in just a bit. They
Yeah.
are from Carousell founders, Kwek Siu Rui, Lucas Ngu, and Marcus Tan. We'll find out more from them in just a bit. Stay with us on 938 Live.
We explain the news on 938 Live.
And
Welcome back to Dollars and Cents here on 938 Live. We are speaking to the co-founders of Carousell, Kwek Sure, Lucas Ngu, and Marcus Tan. Now, guys, what has been the most difficult part of the business?
was there a point where it was, forget it, Lucas, I'm
Yeah.
going home, I don't want.
Short temper. but they tell me they never fight. Or they don't have
fantastic.
disagreements.
Maybe the first part of the question, the most difficult part of business.
Yeah.
I think for the first 1.5 years, the three of us will focus on building a product. And then you transition to building a company that builds the product. So that has been the biggest challenge, I guess, from our experience. Building a team, inspiring them, motivating them about the mission. So
Yeah.
I think that has been the biggest, one of the biggest challenges. And finding people who are passionate about what we are doing. There's mobile commerce and using technology to solve problems.
It sounds to me like, Marcus, you feel a little reluctant doing that, being the big boss man, so to speak. You would have just been happy sitting in a corner doing your creative things. Was that why you found it challenging, perhaps?
No, I think it's just just learnings and evolution of being responsible. I mean, we touch so many people's life on a daily basis, and we just want to we're just motivated. Every day we look at stories of how we use Carousell, students decluttering, social enterprises setting up on Carousell for social cause. This motivates, this drives us to want to bring this mission to even more markets, more communities worldwide, and that has been the focus of what we are doing right now.
Right.
Was there a point, though?
I think these guys don't give enough credit. They're actually the bunch of nicest guys that I ever met. And the kind of things that we do, we also complement each other. It's
Right.
kind of things that Lucas do that I have no knowledge or I don't want to get involved with. His specialty is in engineering and building and developing the app. Likewise for Ray, there's some things that I really admire him doing it. He's a sharp guy, and it's just things that you just don't want to be part of because they're so amazing at doing those things. So we complement each other.
It's being nice.
Not so much the not getting along, but was there a point where you might have felt that, this might not take off?
Or
Maybe I should have taken
did your
that job
parents,
offer.
Did your parents ever question, the viability of this business? in the
I'll
first
give you an
place?
example. Hong An, who is the co-founder of HungryGoWhere.com. At this stage, his parents still, he does something with computers. How are the parents feeling about it?
Now it's a lot better because their friends and colleagues are using it. Family members are also using it. So
Okay.
that helps. People can see people using
Chinese
it.
New Year was better this year. Right?
Yeah, this year was better.
Yeah, we got a couple of million in the bank. Oh, okay, all right, keep quiet straight away, right?
Who needs to know what you're doing?
Hard, right? All parents just want their kids to go,
course.
after graduation, go get a good job. And it didn't help that, Marcus had to give up his job. And I gave up my honors year. Lucas was still in school, but became full-time entrepreneur and part-time student.
Oh, wow.
So I guess our parents were kind of nervous about it. but I think we just convinced them with our passion, right? Like it helped that there were some news articles covering our story about why we're doing this. We brought them to our office to show that we're legit. And we're really committed to making this work. And I guess that helped them be convinced that this was something that we really wanted to do and this was meaningful for us. And now, like we mentioned earlier, it's when people are using it on the street and people are telling them about the app that they're using, and then it's just, yeah, they become biggest cheerleaders now.
I'm sure.
Yeah, biggest supporters. Like we wouldn't be able to do this without their support, right? Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about funding. The thing is, was it difficult to get funding?
It's fun.
Or you just walked in the door?
I think we were so focused on like having a product market fit that
Right.
funding wasn't. It was an important topic, but it wasn't a focus for most of our decisions. We were just focused on like making sure that we are solving a problem. Like for example, we would be at Fleas, talking to sellers. Like Scape, Mat, Public Gardens, just talking to people who might use our app, seeing whether does it resonate, like the problem of selling, is it difficult to sell on existing sites?
Right.
So we were really focused on those, solving real like the problems for sellers. And fundraising was more like in a sense that we're seeking advice from mentors and who are investors, and the conversation of like investment just came about naturally when we get feedback from investors who are so open to share their experience. Like for example, like Golden Gate Ventures, Vinny Lauret. He was amazing like mentor. He taught us about like retention, how do you retain users, some important product tweaks that could help, and we just listen, fine-tune the ideas, and over time the conversation on investment became natural.
You know that saying, when you ask for investment or for money, you get advice, and you ask for advice, you get investment
Money.
and funding and money, right? It kind of happened for us in that way, and I guess for us the biggest focus was always, are we solving a meaningful problem, and like doing this in the right way, right? And you know, the funny story was that we didn't even have a company incorporated for the first 6 months, right? Like,
Really? Wow.
So we were just running on our own savings and bootstrapping this for almost a year. So we went like from May 2012 to October 2013 without a paycheck, right? So we're just living off our own savings.
That frugal lifestyle seems to have stuck. Again, the lads are wearing
Yes.
t-shirts.
So we still eat our like Thai fun, like
Hey, that's the best, isn't it?
it's amazing. Like just down to the hawker,
Absolutely.
250 plus the fruit juice $1.
Now,
I think that's what happens when you run on
Yeah.
passion versus keeping your eye on dollar signs.
Right.
yeah.
And you guys love doing this, love hearing about how people love using your app, and that's what fuels you more than Thai fun, maybe even.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. It's really just waking up every day, and it's almost a responsibility now that people are, like, so many people are using our app and being dependent on it to start to sell, like individuals using it to people starting e-commerce shops using Carousell. It's just mind blowing how we've built a hammer. Like we've built it for one use case, but then people just became creative and used it for other use cases on their own. And I think that's what is most special about technology, right? It just opens up all these opportunities and possibilities for people.
So new opportunities or new ideas came to you also from your own users, right? Who have inspired you guys. So how do you get them involved in ideation, for that matter?
So the few, like for example, we launched with like just one column of like product photos, and then users saying they want to see more. So that's where we moved to like two columns, and also users start giving us feedback. Hey, they want to have like leave their reviews. They want to share their stories of how they transact and deal, or they buying. They met this amazing seller who was so accommodating, and they want to write a story, a review for them.
Wow.
And this is the kind of feedback we take it. We quickly iterate and hack on a mini idea over 2-3 weeks, and we update the app. So these are the things that we do, always being iterative, listening to the user feedback. I mean, we can't do all. I mean, we try our best, definitely, but a lot of things that we need to prioritize and figure out before we get to it. But we'll definitely try our best to listen to our users.
Fantastic.
Bigger buttons. That's all I'm saying. For the fat fingers, bigger buttons. So it sounds like mentors were really important as you embarked on doing this, what were the kind of things that they told you that have stuck with you and that you've followed?
I think one thing is that one of the biggest advice is that always focus on your users. Like for all of us, every feature that we build is always focused on the users. Like how can we help sellers the first time that a seller joins Carousell? How can we help them to very easily list the items and then get the buyers and list the items, sell the items? And for a buyer, how can they find the perfect items for themselves and then bought it? So I think focusing on users, that's one of the biggest advice. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about if you were to dispense advice to other people who are thinking of starting up their own thing? Might not be in the same category, but just wanting to be entrepreneurs.
I think just stay laser focused on like the passion, like find something that is meaningful to you, because that's what's going to keep you going, right? It's not anything else except that, because times are going to be tough. They're going to be tough times. Like, when we first launched Carousell, for the first year, our growth curve was flat. Right? It was flat, but we stuck to it because it was an important problem for us. And if we were just doing it purely to get funding and to like sell the company, we'd probably say, hey, we should move on to the next idea already.
Right.
But we only stuck to it because we saw that there was a passionate group of users, small group of users using it, and we wanted to keep using this app for ourselves. So there's no way we're going to stop doing this.
The question is, if you had to start all over again, would you?
Yes.
Yes, I would assume.
Yeah.
Sounds good to us. About time you tried them out. You can also find them on the web, carousell.com. If you can't spell carousel, can't help you. Actually, I can. CAROUSELL.com. The lads from Carousell joined us today. Kwek Siu Rui, Lucas Ngu, and Marcus Tan. Thank you so much for joining us today, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Hello, I'm Eugene Low with A Slice of Life. Some people believe that love